Hello friends, welcome back. This is Amit from Magnet, and today we are going to learn the different techniques about camera animations. And this is a most requested video, and I am very happy that I am finally going to make this video. And I also hope that you find this video very useful. So first take a look. So before we start, if you are new to this channel, I recommend you to check my videos, and if you find those videos useful, please do subscribe this channel and turn the notification on. And here I like to shout out for all those people who has already joined me as a member. So if you really want to support me, you can also join me as a member. So let's get started. So I launch my Unreal Engine from here. Then I choose this games option here and also choose this third person template. And here I name my project as tutorial. So for this demonstration, I am going to use a pre-built map from the Epic Game Marketplace. And I'm going to use this map called the Safe House. And this map was once free, but now it's a paid content. So if you have it, you can also use it. Otherwise, you can use this technique to different maps, even your own map. And in order to add this map, just click on this add to project. And as you can see that this map is not compatible with the 5.4 version, but anyways, we're going to use it. So just click on this show all project. And then we're going to select our project name, this tutorial, and also select the version, which is the highest possible is the 5.3 here. And just click on this add to project. And once you add the asset, you will find this folder called this Safe House. So the double click to open this folder and then go to this maps folder. And here you will find this map. So the double click to open this map. Okay, so this is the map, and press G to hide all those guide markers. So here it is. So again, this is a paid map. So if you not have this map, you can use this technique to different maps available here, or you can also use this in your own project. So this is only for the demonstration. So first we're going to set up some settings for this map. So first we're going to set up the lighting properly here. So as you can see, if you go to this light, and then if you go to this details panel, you will find this light mobility is set to static. So we just change it to movable. Okay, so in that way it can emit the light here. So likewise, I do change all this light here. Okay, so I turn all the light to movable, and now it can emit the light. And one thing also you can do that our light looks very faded here. So we can also increase the emissiveness of this all lights. So just select this light here, and then we go to this outliner folder and also click on this blueprint here. And then we go to this component section. Then we go down and we select this static mesh here. Then we go to its details panel, and here is the material. So we just open this material from here. Okay, so here is the material. And now as you can see that we have this kind of three properties here, which is called this emissive contrast and emissive power. So it is set to 5. We're going to change this to maybe 10 here. Okay, and as you can see that when we change this 10, the emissiveness is increasing here. So maybe if we change it to 20 here, you can see that the emissiveness look nice here. Then we just save this one and also close this. And now we start the camera animations. So we start from this scene. So this is the very first scene, and as you can see that we move our camera forward, and at the same time we look down. Okay, so this is a very simple shot. So let's do this. So for this camera animation, we need a camera. So we go to this box option here and go to the cinematic and create a cine camera actor. Okay, so here it is. And now if you go to this outliner folder, you will find your cine camera actor here, and then right click and click on this snap object to view. And also we need a sequencer. So for the sequencer, we go to the sequencer tab. and click on this add level sequence. And here also we name our sequence as tutorial, and then we just save this. So this is our sequence, and here we bring our camera. So we again go to this outliner section, and in the search bar we type for camera, and here you will find this Cine Camera Actor. Then just click and drag and drop over here. Okay, just like that. And now we are going to set up some settings. So first we go to this camera component, then we go to this camera focal length, and we change the focal length to maybe 15. So this will be our 15mm lens. Okay, and then also we go to its details panel, then we go to this film back option, and we change the preset from here. Just click on this drop down list and select this 16:9 DSLR. So you can see that we get a nice wide angle shot here. Okay, and then also we go to the search bar here and type for exposure. Then we go to this metering mode, and then we change this metering mode method to manual. Okay, and then also we go to this exposure compensation, and we change the value to maybe 10 here. Okay, you can also decrease or increase the value according to your need. So if you decrease this value to maybe 8 here, you can get this kind of dark scene here. So if you want this kind of scene, you can change it to 8, or if you want a bright scene, you can change it to 10 or 11 as you like. Okay, so more number, more brighter scene. So maybe we stick to the 9 here for now. Okay, and also you can increase the darkness or brightness from this current aperture value here. So as you can see, the aperture value is set to 2.8 here. So if you change it to 1.4, you will get more brighter scene. Okay, and now we're going to put our camera over to the ceiling. So again, we move our camera over here. So maybe we put our camera over here. Okay, and also you can see that our skylight is very bright here. So we can also change the sun direction. So we press Ctrl and L, and then we move our mouse to make a nighttime scene outside here like this. And then we place our camera over here. And in order to animate, we have to put some keyframe over here. But as you can see that if you want a 10 seconds long video, so you can put 10 seconds over here. So we put this 10 seconds here, and this is our 10 seconds timeline. And also we're going to extend our time frame from here, or you can just click on this red sign here to snap to the 10 seconds like this. And also we extend our camera cut. Okay, and also we can put some extra camera frames over here for the warm-up frames. Okay, and then we go to our very first frame here, and then we're going to put a keyframe here. So as you can see that in this Cine Camera Actor, it also comes with this transform switch. So we put a keyframe here, and as you can see that our keyframe interpolation method is cubic. So if you right click over here, you can see that the interpolation method is cubic. So we change it to linear. Okay, and if you want to make this keyframe default method to linear, you can just go to this option and set it to linear. And also we turn on this auto keyframe switch here, and then we go to the very end frame here like this. Then we move our camera over here. Okay, just like that. And then if we play, as you can see, we move towards this forward direction here. Okay, so this is very simple camera animation, but in our actual video, as you can see that we go forward and at the same time we look down here. Okay, so this is also very simple. So we go to the very end frame here like this, and we just move our camera down here. Okay, just like that. So as you can see that we go forward and at the same time we look down. So this is a very simple camera animation. And now we're going to do some extra settings here. And as you can see that our foreground is not in focus. So we go to this camera component, expand this, and then here you will find this manual focus distance. So you can decrease this value to make your foreground in focus, or you can do one thing, that you select your camera component from here Then we go to its details panel and also close these search options here. You will find this manual focus distance, and you can just click on the speaker switch here and just click anywhere you want, and your focus is snapped to this object here. Okay, and now we can also animate our focus distance here. So maybe we go to the very beginning here, then we go to this manual focus distance and make a keyframe here, and then we go to the very end frame here. So we go to the very end frame and we want to make a focus over here. So we go to the speaker switch again, just click over here. So in that way you will make your focus over here. So let's see how it look like. So as you can see that we focus over here, and then when our camera go over here, you can see that our focus shifted to this side. So this is how you can change your focus distance over time. And now we can also do one thing, that we go over here at the beginning, then we go to this transform switch, expand this, then we go to this rotation here, and here from you can also get the controls over the camera rotation. So if you go to this roll, you can see you can roll your camera here like this, and also you go to this pitch, you can move your camera or rotate your camera like this, and also go to this yaw. So we set this value as previous here, but you go to this roll option here, we set this value like this, that is a -166, and make a keyframe here which is automatically pick the keyframe here. Then we go to the very end frame and we go to this roll and set it to 0. Okay, so let's see how it look like. So as you can see that we get a very wild type of camera animation here. So those are very simple, but when you do, you will get a nice result in your scene. So I hope you get the idea. Now move on to the next shot. And in this shot, I try to create a handheld type of camera animation with a little bit of shake. And also I move my camera left to right to see different objects here. So this is also very simple to make. So let's make this. So in order to make the shot, first we move our camera over here. Okay, like this. And then we go to the very beginning here. So we just click over here. And then maybe we put our camera a little bit higher. So we just put our camera a little bit higher here like this. And then we go to this transform and make a keyframe here. Okay. And then we go to the very last frame here. So we just click over here to go to the last frame. Then we move our camera forward here. Okay, like this. So now if we play, you can see that our scene looks something like this. Okay. So now maybe after 2 seconds, we look to the left side here. So we just rotate our camera like this. Okay. And then also we go to this keyframe here, and if you right click over this keyframe, you can see the keyframe interpolation set to linear. But in this case, we change to this cubic, or you can also choose cubic auto or cubic smart auto. We use this cubic smart auto from here. Okay. So now if you play, you can see that our camera move like this. Okay. And if you change it to linear, you can see the difference very clearly. So if we change it to linear interpolation, you can see that if we play, you can see this is a very sharp camera change here. Okay. So we don't want that. That is why we change it to cubic interpolation. Okay. So if you now play, you can see that it is very smooth transition here. So as you can see, after 2 seconds, we look to the left side here, and maybe we continue to look left side until 4 seconds. So we go to this 4 seconds time here and make a keyframe here also. And you can also change this keyframe as a cubic smart auto here. And now if you play, you can see that after 2 seconds, we look to the left side and continue look here. Okay. And then after 6 seconds, we look to the right side here, to this desk here. And also we change this to cubic auto, which is automatically set here. So now if you play, you can see that. Okay. And you can also decrease the time when you look around. So we just delete this keyframe here. go to the 5 seconds or less than 5 seconds here, and then we look to this right side on this desk here, and also make sure that it is set to this cubic smart auto. And now if you play, you can get very fast camera move here. So if you want, you can also do that, or you can just put this keyframe to after 6 or 7 seconds, so you can get very slow camera move here. So it's all depends on you. And then also we continue look to this right side, or maybe we just follow this desk little while, and again make sure that is set to cubic smart auto. So now if you play, as you can see that we follow this desk a little while, so it's look like that we orbiting around this desk here. Okay, and then we finally look up here. Okay, and then it's end. Okay, and maybe from the beginning we start from this floor here. So now if you play, you can see our scene looks something like this. Okay, but one thing we have missing, that the actual camera shake. So in order to make the camera shake, we use a blueprint, and the blueprint is very easy. So let's make the camera shake blueprint now. So for this we go to this content browser, and then we just right click over here and go to this blueprint class, and in this all class section we expand this, and in the search bar we type for camera shake, and you will find this blueprint called this camera shake base. We select this one and click on this select. So in this way we create a blueprint here, and also we name this as shake. Okay, and then we open this camera shake blueprint to double click. So this is our blueprint, and first time it opens like this, so we just close this one and then reopen this, and now it will open like this, so which is very simpler to look. So first you go to the root shake pattern and go to this drop down. We use this parallel noise camera shake pattern, and then we go to this drop down, just click over here. First we go to this timing, and the duration is default set to 1. So this is the time in seconds, but we set it to 0. So 0 means it will affect entire your timeline here. Okay, so first we place it over here, or also we make a room here. Then we go to our sequencer. So first we go to our very first frame. Then we go to this camera component here and go to this plus switch. And then you will find this option called this camera shake, and you will find our camera shake blueprint here. Just click, and you can see that our camera shake is appeared here, and also we extend it to the entire timeline here. Okay, just like that. And the best way to make the camera shake, we continue to play our animation here, and then we go to this camera shake blueprint here, and we go to this rotation, and we put a value over here. So maybe we put 2 here. So as you can see that this camera shake is effect over here already in real time. So if you go to this roll here, maybe you cannot understand because the camera shake is very low here. So if you go to this roll here and go to this amplitude, maybe we put 5 here, and now you can see that the camera shake is applied here. Okay, so likewise we go to this pitch here, and also we put a value maybe 5. So as you can see that our camera is shaking, but as you can see that our camera shake is too much, so we're going to adjust the values. So we go to the pitch, we set it to maybe 2 here, which is amplitude, and go to the frequency, maybe set it to 0.5. Okay, and also we go to this roll, we're going to decrease the value to 1, and then we go to this yaw, maybe we decrease this to maybe 0.5, and the frequency will be 0.5. Okay, so now we get a very subtle amount of camera shake. So this all depends on you, that how much shake you want, and this is the process that how you get the camera shake. And when you satisfy the values, you can just go to this compile switch and compile it and minimize this. So this is how you can make this kind of handheld camera type of shot. And at the same time, you also get the idea that how you can make the camera shake by using the camera shake blueprint. So I hope you get the idea. So now let's move on to the next shot. So the next shot is the macro shot. And as you can see that those shots are look really stunning. So you can also make it very easily. So let's make this. So first we delete all these keyframes here. And maybe we go over here and make a macro shot over this rifle here. So first we go to decrease our time here. So maybe we make a 5 seconds long video. So we go to this time here and put 5. And then we click on this right bracket here. And as you can see that we have our camera shake. So in order to make the macro shot, we go to our camera component. Then we go to this current focal length and we increase this focal length here. And at the same time, we have to focus on our object. And in this case, we want to fix our focus stick on this rifle here. So we can do one thing, that we go to this camera component and then we go to its details panel here and go to this focus setting. We go to this focus method and change this to tracking. And then we go to this option called this tracking focus setting. We expand this and here you will find this option called this actor to track. And then we go to the speaker switch, just click and then we click on the object that you want to in focus. So in this case the rifle. So just click over this rifle here. And as you can see that we stick our focus over this rifle here. And now if you move your camera anywhere you want, but you can see that our focus is stick over this rifle here. Okay, just like that. But you can also see that our focus is stick on the middle of this rifle. So if you want to shift this focus to the nozzle here or barrel here, you can also do that. You can just go to over here, that is the tracking focus setting, and then you go to this relative offset. You can change this value here. So if you change this value to this negative here, you can see that you can also shift the focus. Okay, so if you make your focus over the tip of this barrel here, you can also do that. And now you can move your camera, but you can see that your focus is stick over this barrel here. Okay, but there are so many limitations here. So make sure that you put your camera in a right distance here. And you can also visualize your focus distance by this debugging mode. So if you go to this draw debug focus plane, just click over here and it will show you that which is your actual focus here. So if you increase or decrease this value here, this is the relative offset, you can get the visualization that where you actually focus on. Okay, so just uncheck this debugging mode here and you can get this kind of camera shot here. And now we can also make our camera as an anamorphic camera. So you select our camera component here and then we go to this lens setting here, just expand this lens setting. And here you will find this option called this squeeze factor. So in default it's set to 1. So we change it to maximum value, which is 2 here. So as you can see that our viewport is stretched here. So in order to make it fix, we go to the sensor width and we press divide switch here and press 2. And if you click outside here and we get our actual frame size here. And now if you make little more zoom here, you will get this kind of anamorphic camera blur here. But as you can see that when you zoom more into our object, our camera shake is so much prominent. So we have to decrease the camera shake. So again we open our camera shake blueprint here. So here it is. And at the same time we play the video here. Then we go to this rotation. We decrease this value to maybe 0.5 here. And also decrease the frequency to maybe 0.5. And we can also decrease the location camera shake. So we set this amplitude multiplier to 0.5 and also the frequency to 0.5. And then compile these values, minimize this. And also we're going to animate our camera. So we go to the very beginning here. Then we go to this transform switch, make a keyframe and make sure that the keyframe is linear here. Then we go to the very end, which is the 5 seconds, and then we zoom out our camera a little bit like this. And maybe we change this relative offset value here. Okay, like this. And also we go to this current aperture, we can increase the value. And as you can see that when we increase this camera aperture value, our scene getting darker. So in order to make our scene brighter, we go to this camera component and go to the search bar and type for exposure. And here you will find these exposure options, and we increase this exposure compensation to maybe 10 here or maybe 9.5. So now if we play, you can see that we focus on this gun, but our focus shifted over here. So I think this is some limitations for this camera focus tracking. So in order to fix that, we have to manually keyframe over this camera tracking focus. So how we do that? We go to this very beginning here, and then we select our camera component, and also we delete the search options here, and then we go to this focus settings again and go to this relative offset focus, and we manually make a keyframe here. So we just click on this keyframe here. So in that way you will get this another option called this relative offset, and we will get this keyframe here, and then we're going to change the value. So we go over here, we change this value to shift our focus over here like this, and then we go to the very end here, and we want our focus over this barrel tip here. So again we shift this focus over here like this. Okay, so now if we play, you can get your focus stick over here. Okay, just like that. So this is how you can make this kind of macro shots here. But one thing I have to say, that the default cine camera actor is not able to make a nice anamorphic depth of field here. So if you want to make a nice anamorphic depth of field, you should use a asset called this anamorphic depth of field camera. So here it is. So in order to make this kind of nice anamorphic depth of field, you should use this anamorphic depth of field cinematics. But this is not a free asset, it's a paid asset. So I'm also show you that how these assets work. So if you have the anamorphic camera blueprint, it will look something like that. So once you add, you will find this option called this anamorphic depth of field. And then we go to this blueprints here, and here is this anamorphic camera. So in order to apply this anamorphic camera, we out from this camera view here. So we just click over here and we bring our anamorphic camera into our scene. So we just bring it over here. So here is our anamorphic cine camera. Then we just right click over it and click on this snap object to view. Okay, and then we go to this perspective here and select our anamorphic cine camera. So now you can see that this is the view from the anamorphic camera. Okay, so first we go to, maybe we make a shot here. So we go over here and we want to focus on this paper here. So in order to change any settings, we go to our sequencer here, and instead of using this cine camera actor, we're going to bring our anamorphic camera over here. So again we go to this outliner and go to this search bar and type for anamorphic, and you will find this anamorphic cine camera. Then we just click and drag it over here. Okay, so this is our anamorphic camera, and this is the camera component which is connected to this anamorphic camera. So first we are going to collapse this anamorphic camera, and you will get our cine camera actor underneath this. So we only focus on this anamorphic camera now, and in order to render this anamorphic camera view, we go to this camera cut and we go to this plus switch here, and we select this anamorphic cine camera. So this is the camera cut from this anamorphic camera, and this is the camera cut from this cine camera actor. So first we're going to delete this camera cut because we don't want that, and we extend this anamorphic camera cut to the beginning here, and also we make some extra frames for warm up. So now we're going to set up our scene. So we snap to the beginning here. So we want to focus on this paper over here. So we go to this anamorphic camera, expand this, and here you can see those options here. So if you go to this current aperture, you can change this to make your focus range wider. You can increase this current aperture value, but we have to make it maybe 1.4 here. Okay, and also we going to increase this focal length, so we increase this focus distance here. And now we have to focus on our object. So for this we go to this manual focus distance, but you can see that when we decrease this value, we are not able to focus on our object. So we have to do it different way. So we go to this anamorphic cine camera, and then we go to its details panel here. Then we go down here. Here you will find this anamorphic camera, and under this we get this anamorphic focus distance. So the default set to 500. So we decrease this value, and now you will get this kind of nice anamorphic focus here. But as you can see that our focus range is very narrow here. So you have to do one thing, that we go to this current aperture and we increase this value here like this. So we will get a wider range of focus here. So now as you can see that our scene look really stunning here. And also we have some other options here. So first we go to this anamorphic squeeze ratio. So it is set to 1.8. You can also increase this to get more blur here. But I think 1.8, the default value is look nice here. And also we have this anamorphic samples. So we have to increase it to all the way 20 to get a nice result here. And also we can apply the camera shake here. So we go to this very beginning here. Then we go to this camera component, go to this plus switch, and then we go to this camera shake and we select our shake blueprint here. So now if you play, you can get this kind of camera shake here. And also we go to these settings and change the engine scalability settings to cinematic here. So we get this kind of nice view here. And also we going to animate our camera. So maybe we go over here to the 1 second time here. Then we go to this transform switch. Then we go to 3 seconds here, or maybe 2 seconds here. We move our camera a little bit up here. And again at the same time we have to animate our focus distance. So we go over here and then we go to this anamorphic cine camera. Also we close this search option and then we go down. And this is our anamorphic focus distance. And in order to animate this focus distance value, we make a keyframe here. So there is our anamorphic focus distance value here. And then we go to this 2 seconds time here. And we increase our focus distance. And also we select both of these keyframes. Then right click over this keyframe and make it cubic smart auto. Okay. So now if you play, and again we have to change these keyframes also. So we right click and make it cubic auto. And now if we play, so this is how you can make this kind of shot. Or maybe we can extend these keyframes so the animation will be very smooth here. Okay. So now if you play, so you can see that this look really amazing. And you can also know that how you can animate your focus distance. So this is how you can make this kind of macro shots here. So I'll show you that how you can get the macro shot by using the default cine camera actor. And if you have this anamorphic cine camera blueprint, you can also make this kind of nice anamorphic shot here. So this is how you can make this kind of macro shots here. So I hope you get the idea. So let's move on to the next shot. So in this type of shot, we pass our camera through a very narrow place. And when you do this kind of shot, it also look really amazing. So let's make this. So first we're going to delete this anamorphic camera. So we select and delete. And also we go to this perspective and select our cine camera actor. And again, we have to change this camera cut to our cine camera actor. So first we select this camera cut and delete this one. Then we go to this plus switch and select our cine camera actor. and also we extend our camera cut, and then we go to expand our cine camera actor, and then we delete all these keyframes and we go to this current focus length. We change this to maybe 12 here, and now we go over here. So as you can see that our scene get blurry. It's because that we set our camera focus in tracking mode. So we go to select our camera component, and then we go to this focus setting and we change this to manual here. So now we're going to make a shot that our camera pass from this narrow orifice here. But how we can do that? Because if you want to go through here, you can see that our scene is clipping here, because you cannot put your camera very close to any object here. Okay, so as you can see that when you go to the very close to this orifice here, our scene is clipping here. So how you can do that? So this is very simple to do. So we go to over here. So maybe we put our camera over here like this. Okay. Then we select our camera component here, and then we go to its details panel, and then we go down here, and under this crop setting you will find this advanced option, and when you expand this you will find this option called this custom near clipping plane. Okay, so activate this option, and now the default value is 10, so we change this to 0, and now you can get very close to any object here like this. So this is very essential when you want to make a very close shot to any object. You can just set this custom near clipping plane to all the way its minimum value, which is not 0 but 0.00001, which is very less or very close to 0. So in that way you can get very close to any object here. And also we can adjust our focus distance. So we can go over here, that is the manual focus distance. We can decrease this value to very less here to get in focus. Okay, just like that. And now you can go through any small orifice here. So this is a very useful technique. So now if we want to make a animation here, so maybe we go over here, and then we go to the very beginning here, make a keyframe to this transform switch, and then go to the last frame here and animate my camera here like this. And now if you play, you can get this kind of macro shot here. Okay, and also we can do another shot by using this technique. So we go to delete all these keyframes here, and maybe we go over this disk here. So here you can get these wires here. So we put our camera over here, and then we go to the very beginning, then make a keyframe to this transform, and then we go to the very end frame here, and we pass our camera through these wires here. Okay, so let's play this. Okay, and maybe we can move down our camera a little bit, and also we focus on this wire. So we again go to this manual focus distance and adjust the focus here. And now if we play, we can get through this small space here. Okay, and also we can rotate our camera. So now if we go to this transform switch and expand this transform switch, then you go to this rotation here, you can rotate your camera like this. So maybe we can rotate our camera over here and then go over here, and also we can rotate our camera here, or maybe we can extend this keyframe over here like this. And then when we go to the end, we can select this keyframe, and maybe we can totally rotate this camera in that way. Okay, so now if you play, you can get this kind of wild camera rotation here. Okay, or maybe one thing we can do, that we select this rotation value here, which is the roll rotation. We can delete this first keyframe, delete this one, and extend this keyframe to the beginning here. and then when we go to this end keyframe here, we can rotate it like this. So now if we play, you can get this kind of camera animation here. Okay, so I hope you get the idea that how you can push your camera through a very narrow orifice and how you can get very close to any object by using this technique. So I hope you get the idea. So let's move on to the next shot. Okay, so this is also a nice way to animate your camera, and in this technique we make a pathway and make our camera to follow the pathway. And as you can see that this look really amazing because you can make an entire showcase of your whole scene in a single shot. So let's make this. And now we're going to make a path and also make our camera to follow the path. So for this we're going to use the camera rig rail. So for this we go to this box option here and then we go to the cinematics and click on this camera rig rail. So here is our camera rig rail and you can't see it. So we press G. So here is our camera rig rail. So as you can see, this is our camera rig rail. So first we're going to put it higher here. Okay, and also make sure that our camera rig rail is set on the floor. So we select this spline point here and also click on this option here to select all of these spline points, and then we right click over it and go to this snap and click on this snap to floor. Okay, so in that way we'll make sure that our rig rail is attached to the floor here. Okay, so this is our rig rail, and then we're going to bring our rig rail over here. So this is our initial point. Okay, and now we're going to extend this rail here. So we go to this last spline point here, select this, and then we go to this axis and just extend this like this. Okay, and now we're going to turn this spline over here. So we press and hold the Alt key on the keyboard, and then we go to this green axis and just drag it over here like this. Okay, just like that. And then also we move it over here, and also we selected this spline point and maybe we make it over here like this. So this is how you can adjust this rig rail, and also go to this spline point here and maybe we set it over here, and also we press E to get this rotation gizmo, and you can also rotate it to make this spline little bit smoother here. Okay, so likewise we can extend this spline point over here also. So select this and then we extend it like this. Also we use those handles to make our spline little bit smoother here like this. And we place it little bit higher here. So the idea is we make our camera pass through from this gap. So we make our camera path like this way. So again we duplicate this spline here like this, and we just want to pass through this gap here. So select this spline, okay, just like that. So it will require little bit adjustment, so take your time to adjust. So as you can see that I designed my rail little bit like this, but you have to take your time to design it more nicely. So at the end I again right click here and go to this snapping and click on this snap to floor here, and then also we extend this rail over here like this. Okay, or maybe here. Okay, so as you can see that our rail looks something like that, and also we select this spline. So now we connect our camera to this rig rail and see that how our camera rolls. Okay, so maybe we push our camera at the beginning point here like this. And then this is our camera rig rail and this is our cine camera actor. So we just click on this cine camera actor and just put it beneath of this camera rig rail. Okay, so in that way our cine camera actor is connected with this rig rail here. And now if you just move this cursor, you can see that our scene looks something like that, which is messed up. So again we go to this very beginning here and then we move our camera over here. Okay, so now our camera is placed over here and now we have to do the animation. So for this we select this camera rig rail here, and here you can find this option called this current position on rail. So this is set to 0. So if you set to 1, you can get the last position here. So we have to animate from 0 to 1 here. And in order to animate this value, first we put 0 over here and then just click on this key switch here. So in that way it will make this option available here, and it also make a keyframe to the 0. And also we're going to increase our duration. So we go to this option and maybe we want to make a 20 seconds long video. So we press 20 here. Okay, and also we go to this right bracket to end this timeline here, and then we extend this camera cut here. Okay, then we're going to extend this camera shake also, and now we're going to increase this option called this current position on rail to 1. Okay, just like that. And now if we play, as you can see that our camera is follow the rail. But one thing you have noticed that our camera is not oriented towards the rail. So as you can see that when the rail is turned, the camera is not oriented with the rail. Okay, so one thing we can do, we go to this camera rig rail and then we go to its details panel, and here you will find this lock orientation to rail. Just check this box here. And now if you play, you can see that our camera is oriented towards the rig rail here. Okay, so this look really amazing, and you can make a path for your camera and your camera will follow the path here. Okay, and now make sure that our rig rail is smooth in every point. So as you can see that this point is not that smooth, so maybe we select this point here and we delete this point. Okay, so now if you play, and also here this point is not that smooth, so maybe we can also select this point and delete this point here. And sometimes you can see that your camera is intersect any object, so you can also animate your camera individually. So for this camera animation, we go to the very beginning here and we're going to make a key switch to this transform here. So maybe make a keyframe to the transform here. And also you can animate your camera if you want. And as you can see that this spline point may be not that smooth, so we can also delete this spline point here. So now if you play, you can see that it intersect this wall here. So we can just animate our camera over here like this. Okay, and also make sure that you use this cubic interpolation method here. So now if you play, wow, you can see that the camera movement is very smooth here. And also we want our camera to pass through from this gap here. So we go over here and we reposition our camera over here like this. Okay, so let's see how it look like. Wow, you can see that this look really amazing. So this is how you can make this kind of shot here. And also you can put individual camera rotation here and there. So maybe if you go to the very beginning here, you can turn your camera like this. And now if you see that your camera is rotating like this. Okay, and also in some points you can also look here and there like this, and also sometimes you can look up and then go from this side, and also you rotate your camera like this. So let's see how it look like. So you can make really wild camera animation by using this rig rail and also the individual camera animations here. Wow. Okay, so maybe we can make this distance over here like this. So this is how I make this shot here. So I hope you really get the idea. So now let's move on to the next shot. So this is our next camera animation technique, and you can see that it is the real handheld camera animation. And in this process, I'm going to use a real footage and transfer the real footage camera animation to the CG world. And you can see that how realistic it look like, and it also very easy to do. So let's make this camera animation. So for the tracking, I am using After Effects, and I'm also use this footage. So I'm also gave this footage in the description down below, so you can download this footage and follow along my tutorial here. So first we going to bring this footage into a composition here, just like this. Okay, and then we're going to track this footage. So we select this footage here and also change this quality to full here, and then we go to this tracker option here, and again we select this footage to activate those options here. And if you not find tracker over here, just go to this window and make sure that you select this tracker from here. Okay, and then just click on this track camera. So it will take little time. So once the camera tracking process is done, you select this 3D camera tracker and you will get all these 3D camera track points here. So we select 3 track points. So maybe we select this one and then press and hold the control key and select this one and also select this one here. And then we right click over it and click on this set ground, plane and origin. Okay, and then again we just right click and click on this create solid and camera. So this is our solid. So maybe we can decrease this video resolution to quarter here. And if we play this video, you can see that our tracking is very nicely done here. And we can also going to create some additional tracking points. So we select our 3D camera track here. And then we maybe select this tracking point here and then right click and then click on this create null and maybe select this point here, right click and create null, and also maybe select this point here and right click and create null. Okay, so those are the reference track points. And now we're going to normalize our tracking data by using a script. So we're going to use this script. So we go to this window and go to this normalize track script here. And I'm also show you that how you can get this script here. So I'm also gave the link in the description down below. So once you go to the link, you will find this page here. So this is called this normalized track, and this is a free asset. So in this section, you just put the price here. So you just put 0 over here and click on this purchase. And now I'm going to show you that how you can install this. And once you download the script, you will find this folder. Just double click to open, and inside that you will find this script. So first we just copy this script here, just copy, and then we go to our After Effects install directory. So this is my After Effects install directory. Then we go to this support file and then we go to the scripts folder, double click to open, and then we go to the script UI panels, double click to open, and here we paste the script. So this is the script that I paste here. Okay, so that's it. And in order to use this script is also very easy. So first we're going to select our solid here and we rename it as a ground. So we press enter to rename this. So we name this as a ground. Okay, and then we select this null points here along with this ground plane here, and then just click over here, just click it. Okay, so this is done. So just close this one, and now our tracking data is normalized perfectly. Okay, so now we're going to export this tracking data to our Unreal Engine. So for this, first we go to this file, then we go to this export, and we use this Maxon Cinema 4D exporter. So just click, and you can see that we get this error. So we have to save our project. So we just click OK here, and then we save our project. And again, we go to the file, go to the export, and click on this Maxon Cinema 4D exporter. And it says that it find the 2D layers. Just ignore this. Click on this OK. And here we're going to save this. So we also name this as 3D track. Okay, and save this. So this is all we have to do in After Effects. So now we close this After Effects and go to our Unreal Engine. So we are back in Unreal and now we're going to import the tracking data. But before we import the tracking data, we have to enable a plugin. So we go to the edit, then we go to this plugins, and in the search bar we type for Datasmith, and here you will find those plugins. So we enable this Datasmith Cinema 4D importer and also this Datasmith importer. And then we have to restart our engine. So just restart from here. And once we restart, we close this plugin window here. And then we reopen our level. So we go to the Safe House folder, go to the map and open this level. Okay. And now we're going to import the tracking data that we exported from After Effects. So for this, we go to this box option here. And after we enable the plugin, you will find this new option called this Datasmith. Just go over it and then click on this file import. And this is the tracking data that we exported from After Effects. So we select this one and click on this open. And we select our content folder here. Click on this OK. And we don't need to change anything here. Just click on this import. So in that way, it will import the tracking data. And you can see that inside this content folder, it will create a 3D track folder. So we open this folder here and also open this animations folder. And here you will find a sequencer which hold all the tracking information. So we open this sequence here, but you can see that we can't see the camera here. So the camera is outside from this area. So we go outside from this area. So as you can see that we cannot see the camera. So we select this 3D track camera here. And now let's see. So as you can see that this is our camera. So now if you scrub through time here, you can see that the camera is moving here. But one thing you have noticed, the camera moving area is so much big here. So we're going to shrink this world down. So how we do that? We go to this outliner section and we select this 3D track. And then we go to this details panel and also go to the scale switch and make sure that you enable this uniform scale switch here. And then we go to this value and we decrease this value to maybe 0.1. Okay. And now you cannot see the camera here. So again, we go to this outliner section and we select this 3D track camera. And then we go to the details panel here and select this camera component. Okay. And then we go to the scale switch here and we increase the scale value to 10. So now you can see that here is our camera here. And now we're going to bring this camera inside this house here. So how we do that? We have to select this 3D track. Okay, not this camera. So we select this gizmo and then we move this camera inside this house. Okay. And in this viewport, you can see that where is our camera is. Okay. And now we go inside this house. Okay. And also press G to hide all guide markers here. And from the perspective, we select our camera. So we go to the perspective and select this 3D track camera. Okay. So this is the actual view from this camera. So we select this camera. And now if you play, you can see this view from this track camera. Okay. So this is very nice looking, but you can see that our scene is very dark here. So we're going to increase the brightness here. So how we do that? We select this 3D track camera, then we go to this plus switch and then we add a camera component here. So we just click on this camera component. So this is our camera component and then we go to this plus switch and here from we're going to add all these features for this camera component. So first we add this camera aperture features here and you can see that it's set to 8. So we're going to decrease this value to maybe 1.4 here, but you can see that it doesn't affect this world here, because we go to select this camera component and then we go to its details panel and in the search bar we type for exposure and then we go to this exposure setting, we enable this metering mode and we change this to manual here and then again we go to this exposure compensation and we increase this value to maybe 10. So now you can see that our scene is look brighter here, and if you change this current aperture value, you can also increase or decrease the brightness of your scene like this. So now if you play, you can see that our scene looks something like that. Okay. And now we're going to also change the camera position from here. So how we do that? We go to this camera component switch, not this 3D track camera. We go to this camera component switch, then go to this plus switch here and we add a transform switch here. So this transform switch is connected to this camera component. So we go to this transform switch and then we expand this and then we go to this location and then we go to the Z location here and we move our camera a little bit down here by using this Z axis location here. Okay. And also we go to this rotation value and go to this pitch and we can rotate our camera like this. So now if you play, you can get this kind of perspective here. So this is how you can do this whole process here. So I hope you really get the idea. And you can also change your track camera position. So how we can do that? So we go out from this camera view here and then we select this 3D track camera and this is our 3D track camera position. So maybe we're going to change the position over here. So we select this one and then we position it over here like this. And now you can get a very different view from this position. So again, we go to this perspective and select this 3D track camera and also select this one. And as you can see that we get a very different view. So this is the complete process that how you can import the real world camera tracking data into Unreal Engine by the help of After Effects. So I hope you really get the idea. And now I'm going to show you some of the camera settings that you need to make your render better. So first we go to exit from this sequence here. So we go to this content browser, then we go to this content folder and this is our tutorial sequence. So we go to this sequence here and also we go to this perspective and select our camera here. And as you can see that this is our camera rig rail. So we're going to delete this camera rig rail from here and then we go to this outliner section and we unlink our Cine camera actor from this camera rig rail. So we do one thing that we go to this camera rig rail and we delete this one. So this is how we can unlink our Cine camera actor from the camera rig rail. And now we're going to freely move our camera. So maybe we go over here and also we're going to delete this keyframe from the transform switch. So we just select and delete them. Okay. And then we reposition our camera over here like this. And now we're going to make a simple animation here also. So maybe we move our camera over here and then we go to this transform switch and make a keyframe here. And then we go to this 10 seconds long time here or we just type 10 here. And then we click on this right bracket here and we move our camera a little forward here. And also go to our first frame here and put our camera a little bit down here like this. So this is a very simple camera animation here. And now we're going to set up some settings. So first we go to this camera component and we go to this current aperture. We're going to darken up our scene a little bit down here like this. And we go to this current focal length. We maybe put 15 mm lens here. Okay. Like this. And then we select our camera component and then we go to its details panel and also clear the search bar here. And here from we can get some settings here. So we go down here and inside this lens setting, we go to this bloom option here. We can enable this bloom and we change the standard from convolution. And if you enable the intensity here, you can increase or decrease the bloom here. So if you increase this value, you can get bloom here. But I recommend you set the value to maybe 0.1 here. So very less bloom here. And then we go down here. So this is the exposure and you can already see that what we do with this exposure settings here. So I'm just leaving it for now. And also go to this chromatic aberration and this is very useful. So if you expand this chromatic aberration and if you enable this intensity and start offset. So first you go to the intensity, maybe we put the value 0.5 here. So you can get little bit of chromatic aberration to the edge of this all objects here. So you can also visualize this. If you increase the value, you can get this RGB splitting here. So we're going to down the value to 0.2 or 0.5. Okay. And also we increase this value, that is start offset. So if you increase this value, it will only affect the edges of the scene, not the middle of the scene. So it all depends on you that how much you want. So maybe 0.5 is look nice here. And this is a very important option called the dart marks. So if you want any smudge or dart in your camera lens, you can enable it from here. but you also need a texture for your dirt. So I'm using the texture from the Video Copilot optical flare. So let me bring the texture here. So this is all the texture from the Video Copilot optical flare. So I'm going to use this one. So we go to this content browser here and we bring this texture over here. So first we go to the dart mask option and enable the dart mask texture option here, and then we bring it over here. Okay, and also we go to the dart mask intensity, we enable this and we increase the value to maybe 5 here. So if we go to the sequencer here, maybe you cannot see it, so we're going to increase the intensity value to maybe 20 here. So now if you go to any light here, you can see those are the camera textures here. Okay, so this is how you can put your camera lens darkness here. So this is also very important. Okay, so and now we go down here, and here from you can also increase or decrease the camera shutter speed. So if you increase this, you can get less light here, but when you increase it, you can also increase the ISO of your camera. So enable this ISO and increase this value here. So you can adjust this value according to your need. And then also we go down here, and there is a very cool option called this lens flares. So if you enable this lens flare and if you increase the intensity, you can get this kind of lens flare here, but this is very much, so we're going to decrease the value to maybe 0.2 here. So you can get very subtle amount of lens flare here. Okay, so it's all depends on you that how much intensity you need here. And then we go down here, and here you will find this image effect. So if you go to enable this vignette effect, you can also increase or decrease the vignette intensity here. And this is also very important. If you want to sharp your image, you can also do that from this option called the sharpen. So if you increase this value, you can sharpen your images here. But I recommend you to not sharpen your images too much. Maybe 0.1 will be nice here. Okay, and then we go down here, and here are so many options. So we go to this global illumination option here. So as you can see that our lumen is default enabled here, but you can do one thing, that you can also go to this lumen global illumination here, and here you can increase or decrease the light quality. So if you enable this one, the default value is 1, you can enable to 5 or 10 to get a nice quality here. And then also you go to this final gather quality, you can also increase this value to maybe 10 here to get a nice result. And then also we go down, and this is the reflection, and here you can get this reflection quality. So you can also enable this quality option and increase the value to maybe 10 here. And then here is the very important option called this high quality translucent reflection. So if you just enable this, you can also make your reflection quality nice here. And then we go down here, and here you will find this option called this film grain. So this is also very important. So if you enable this one, and if you increase the value to maybe 5 here, you can get this kind of filmic grain. But this is only for the demonstration, so I put this 5 value here, which is very high. So you can put 0.5 here. So you can get very less but nice looking filmic grain here. So if you want, you can also put the film grain into your scene to make it very organic look here. Okay, so these are all the settings, and if you play with these settings, you can really make your scene look more stunning. So now we're going to delete this keyframe here, and if we play, you can get this kind of scene here. So this is it, and this is how I make my actual camera animations, and I put all the information that you need to know about the camera animation in this single video. So this is a long requested video, and I'm very happy that I finally make this video. So I hope you really get the idea. So if you like this video, I recommend you to check my other videos, and if you find those videos useful, please do subscribe this channel and turn the notification on. So this is for today, and we will see in my next video. So till then, take care and bye bye.